All right, so we have now gone live, and we haven't done the clap. So let's do it on 34 and 15 seconds.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Getting the hands ready.
Big
And
claps.
then 20. Welcome to Crudely Drawn Swords, an actual talking podcast in which we talk about some of the talking we did before, and it's going to be a talktastic time. I hope you're as excited about it as we are. I'm your host and GM, Ben Moxon, and with me are the four hawks hiding behind a cushion. We have Stuart Heading.
Hello.
With a top hat, we have Ali Hancock.
I'm looking smart.
Magnus's microphone, if he angles his head right, also looks like a hat.
Yeah, wearing a kind of microphone Busby. It's Magnus Carr. And in an extremely classy drawing room, it's Gwyn Teague.
Thank you.
We're all here. We're hot to go. And we have a lot of questions that you have asked us.
I thought we were asking them.
Yeah, well, we can do that later. Let's see if I can.
It's actually strangely nerve-wracking doing it this way.
I was going to say, having subjected us to 3 years of coursework, this kind of feels like the big exam.
I think it's fair to say we've not been studying.
The only revision I've done is looking at Kristen's pictures.
They're good pictures, though. So
They're very good pictures.
Revision.
They're
But
good
that's everything I
except
remember.
for one of them, which is displeasing to me.
Well,
And I won't say which one.
You did on Twitter, though, so giveaway.
Yeah,
well,
spoilers. Okay, so to get right
follow
into
us on Twitter, hashtag Crudely Drawn Swords.
it's at Crudely Drawn Swords. No, it's not. It's at Crudest Swords. What are you doing? You're making me an idiot. More, somehow.
Guys,
So,
there's actually people watching, look.
So this is actually a PowerPoint. Oh, yeah, we can't get edited out is the problem. We can't just waffle on for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Nope.
This is a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
And it's going to cover some questions. I've tried to group them. There's a few questions where a bunch of people have asked the same thing roughly, and I've tried to make a question that combines them all.
Ben,
So
can I just say, I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years, and it's pretty nerdy doing this. But you making a PowerPoint presentation of these questions is literally the nerdiest shit we have done on this podcast.
Let's see whether it's more nerdy that I've actually made it so that like each of the questions like pops in. So big moments.
Oh, man.
What were your favorite moments for your character? I'm going to go down left. So Tristan, what were your favorite moments for Tristan, Stu?
We should just check that there's been no one that has actually thought of these things during the day and like thought about the episode, because I haven't. I'm putting it out there. I've not done any thinking yet. So if someone's been doing
you're going to
The
start.
last 40 years.
Okay, big moments for Tristan. I would say the whole boots. Wait, do you mean like parts of the story or personal?
Yeah, just favorite moments.
The
of
whole
your
boots
character.
thing was pretty mental. That's got to be the biggest. Like boots was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Lucy.
What about Enigma?
Oh, I think probably the Land of the Dead bit.
That was pretty
That
cool.
was pretty cool. And I was reminded of the origin of and it wasn't even his watermelon story, in which I was being awesome. But the thing was like, even I just remember is the line about melons. So
Yeah.
That's good.
You had this high danger rooftop chase, and they're just telling anecdotes. And then right at the end, we have Yukov stagger back, and there they are finishing their after dinner speaking. What about
his watermelon?
What about Percy?
One of the really early episodes of season 2, I was slowly getting more and more smashed until there's one episode that I can't really remember recording. And so when I heard that one back, that was a nice surprise. And I was quite grateful that it'd been very sympathetically edited as well. So,
I like the way that
yeah, I did like The Land of the Dead as well.
when you're more drunk, Percy gets more weirdly legalistic.
Drunk Percy is amazing.
Yeah.
And there was one episode that I was really fucked out my skull for. And I listened back to that. I was like, nope, I'm not drinking again.
And he never drank again.
He's not drinking now.
Never drank again.
Guilty tonsils ain't got no rhythm. Mag, what about Banbury?
I really like the interrogation scene we did midway through season 2.
I was just thinking of that.
One of the best episodes we did. Obviously, Stuart deleted it, so
you are welcome, listeners.
But I've got to say, like, everyone was on point in that episode. Everyone was really funny. I think those were the best laughs that we had. So probably that.
That was a really good one actually in the show after. That was the one that Stuart deleted. Over.
Yep, you're welcome.
Stuart
completely
destroyed
destroyed
it, and Stuart tried to remember vaguely what we did. And but yeah, even the first take of that, or the second take of that was peak.
But it was also pretty dark though as well. It was a bit brutal.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
I think also some of the funny moments have been when we've lost a recording and tried to recap it and pretend that we're not just copying something we've previously done. Like, I wonder if there's anyone in the cupboard. Oh, Enigma's here. Here we go. Let's start the story.
Oh, that was also the other thing that was quite funny about that is that we start doing that and then it just like goes off the rail almost immediately. So let's take a look.
When we've done that, then the product has been really sort of concise. And if we'd done that for all of season 3, we'd have done it in about 5 episodes.
Yeah,
tops. Saved everyone a lot of guff.
Been like, we should have done that with the sword conversation. So, what were your favourite moments for someone else's character? Let's go up the list this time. So, Mag, what was your favourite moment for someone else's character?
Irie's change of clothes and hair. There's makeover. That's what it's called. So I don't watch those types of shows where that's said a lot. Yeah, I think I don't know. There's a lot of like just funny moments, funny character moments. Can't pick out specific stuff, but yeah, I personally find Percy to be the funniest character because of all the dry one-liners. But it's much harder to play the straight man, and I think Gwyn does an amazing job. And like stuff like "It Wasn't My Watermelon" or the Strawberry Blonde stuff, just every single time.
Speaking as a straight man, it kind of comes naturally.
So, Gwyn, what was your favourite someone else's character moment?
I really liked the couple of episodes with just Banbury and Enigma in them when me and Stu were off doing wall things. All the way back in episode 1. Again, partly because it was kind of new hearing it.
Yeah.
But also that was a really sort of nice bit of rich story that set things up quite nicely for everything that was going to come.
Yeah, that was some cool moments in that. What about you, Ali?
We should point out as well for Bertie Flyboy.
Let's start referencing
Mag's computer has stopped working, so I think he's doing it on iPad. Or did you get it working, Mag?
No, this is going on an iPad. Why?
Can you move a bit closer to it so that we can see your mouth moving?
Is that better? If not, I imagine we're not typing anything. Whoa.
No, I don't think we will be.
Huge.
We've got all this stuff on PowerPoint here. There's no need to type.
There you go.
I can just queue up the next slide.
Oh, I sure hope we've got some Excel spreadsheets next.
So, Ali, what's your favourite someone else's character?
I was going to say Percy Boggin.
Oh, yeah. The
I think that was one of the moments. I mean, largely Percy, but I think it was one of those moments where we kind of became peak hawks. It's not the time we trashed that guy's house and all the seagulls attacked.
Yeah, no. I'm changing my
saying this sounds like I'm recounting a dream, by the way, I just realised. And then these seagulls attacked, and then we smashed up this guy's house for no reason, and then we were in a barge.
That did happen for no reason as well.
That was so good. It was because Enigma and Banbury started looting. I'm easily led.
I don't think I started that.
Percy kicked the door down, and that basically gave free rein. Oh, okay. The good guy, the paladin's like kicking doors down. Sweet.
What about you, Stu?
Well, I've got a little one for each, which is kind of player. So
Nice.
I think the coolest thing for Enigma was also from Ali and that magpie poem she wrote.
Oh, yeah,
that storytelling
cool.
night as well.
That was so good. Every now and again, I come back and think about it, and I was like, that was so cool. That was such a good story. Percy, again, I think the first time we kicked the shield for the very first time when we had the doorway, which we placed the shield against and kicked it in. But obviously the best line is still, how did you know it was me? I dyed my hair. That was just the funniest
I'm
joke.
sure that got edited, but we laughed solidly for like 10 minutes with that one.
Yeah, I had to cut some of that
out.
out.
Laughing, someone else would start and then turn them off.
And for Banbury, it'll be Mag for all the crazy raps that were really just like always put me to shame when he's like, oh, I've just written a really quick chat with my mirror. It's really complex, technical, and like wordy. And I'm like, I've written a song where I just strum the guitar a few times.
I've written a song with dicks.
Here's the dick song. But also I know we've just had it as the last thing, but there's been so many. But that meeting with Ambithorax, seeing that Ambithorax relationship, and then Banbury just turn around and be like, "Oh wait, how much are we allowed? We're beyond spoilers, aren't we?"
Yeah, well, we're
Banbury
beyond
was just
spoilers.
like,
This is spoiler-tastic. By the way, spoiler warnings, everyone.
Spoilers. When Banbury was just like, I'm coming for you. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn everyone. And then Ambithorax as well to go, excellent. I was like, that scene was so good. I was just like,
I don't know if
whoa.
Listening realised, but we had no idea that was coming.
No. That was
Brilliant.
so good. I mean, that's
We have more questions about that, so we're going to come back to that anyway. But yeah, that was pretty. That was
Pushing
pretty
the slides
amazing.
out of order.
But in particular, that little room conversation as well, really special.
I did wonder the other day listening back to that episode, because obviously you guys recorded some stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what did you think of that bit?
That conversation. I found it good. It was interesting to hear the reactions, but equally I thought, I assume that means Banbury was literally lying on the floor, like having the conversation.
Yeah, I did ask Ben, and I think he said because the magic was there that I did. And I was
basically like, Tristan could listen in because he was right in all that magic.
Okay,
so the others didn't know what was going on, but Tristan
and
did.
it helped the story, Magnus. Come on, you ditched us. Give us something.
It's icy, and I'm like, well, I mean,
I did. I definitely checked with Ben because I was like, it feels like Stuart knows this, but now Tristan does.
So I'm going to give some of my favourite moments as well, just because I have them. And like the night in the wood with Tristan and the Dryads was so funny. That was so stupid. And the fact he ends up waking Banbury up with a knife, and then it gets into the whole face touching thing.
Yeah. And then the very next day, someone touched my face. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And also before that, the fight with the assassin vine, where you ended up swinging into each other like a Newton's cradle, was also extremely funny. That whole episode is one of my go-to places where I'm like, if you want to see how funny our show is, you should listen to this episode.
I forgot about the assassin vines. Wow.
Yeah, they were pretty wild. And I also super enjoyed. I really liked the way that you all came into completely different characters for the journey through winter, and that played out really differently. The sheer audacity of Mag playing a non-speaking character in a podcast.
Do you know
just
what? Some people,
wild.
I chatted to someone. Well, one, you said that was going to be one session, and it turned out to be a lot of sessions. Two, someone I was chatting to a while back said, "Oh, I didn't realise he was meant to be a mute," and I was like, "I mean, it was all narration. He wasn't standing there going, hey, I moved through the room." No, I'm not doing it now. But you know what I mean. Yeah, weird. Maybe we should have stated categorically at the start, this guy cannot speak. But yeah, or maybe that person just missed it. Who knows? Are we just doing random bits that we really like? Because buttery dwarfs.
Oh
like,
god, buttery dwarfs.
Right, I think that's peak us. Whenever you say, like, what's the bit that would be good to describe the podcast? I mean, that bit's completely irrelevant to any bit of plot. But like all of us just talking absolute shit about buttery dwarfs. was on point.
I edited that and I did all the edits. I did the pre-listen and I was driving and I almost had to stop when I actually finally heard it on the podcast because I was crying with laughter because it was still, even after many lessons, the most stupidly funny thing. It's just so weird.
Can I just say, is there a way to us to interact? Because lots of people making comments about things that we're just totally ignoring is kind of weird. Can we not reply in
it was some way of communicating with the people that are listening to us talking?
Yeah.
We can't interrupt
Never
a
mind.
story to go, hey, Sidechild, 475, great comment, thanks. Like, subscribe.
So people chatting.
The other thing is that there is...
Thank you,
flip your thing to live comments, Mag. Otherwise, it just sits in private chat.
Yeah, also the comments come through from YouTube, so they're a bit delayed. So... that's a nice song. Mentioned the Wall song. Yeah. Something I liked about the Wall song is that it has that little violin figure that became Tristan's motif for when I was doing the soundtrack. And all the character motifs come from songs that relate to them, apart from Percy's, which is the theme from the Battle at the Wall. So a question from Megatron Stew. Who is, I believe, watching. What's your favourite pun from season 3?
From every season, it's got to be the apple one. That one I'm so proud of.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm feeling blue. I mean...
I kind of like it when you go crazy. Like, I liked it when you did die puns. He did like a whole string of increasingly obscure die puns until you get down to things to understand.
Someone might, and they'll really appreciate it.
Yeah. The thing is,
one of the best
important
things about the edit is Ben edits out and Lucy edits out us all talking at the same time. So this live stream is just going to be all of us at the same time.
True.
Yep. So now I've created silence and a space. We need to
let's go on to the next.
Okay, everyone talk at once now.
We all say the same things.
So a couple more questions.
The latest episode when Mag said, "Get ready, everyone talk at the same time in 3, 2, 1," and we did it. That was brilliant. That was horrible to listen to, but that was so good.
Yeah, that was just my average editing experience. So, a question from Kristen. Hawks, are there any moments you wish you'd done something else? Stu?
Good question. Yeah, but it's mostly roleplay stuff. It's something I suffer with a lot doing tabletop in general, is that I'll sit there and think, I'm like, right, this is what I want to say. I'm going to phrase it like this. They're going to maybe say that, but I'll come back quickly with this, and it's going to be really good. And I did it in the silk room where I was trying to do the plan. So I'd walk through and I'd said to Ben, right, these are some ideas. What am I allowed to do? What do I know? What can I say? And then I just came on stage and was like, you still silk, man, you bad rock. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. It was so fluid and cool in my head. And I just
but technically
stripped and sung some songs.
Fully their language. So maybe Tristan could have eloquated that brilliantly in his own language, but when he got up there, that's the best. He was like, right, what words do I know that exactly? I've mainly learned words about seducing people and flying.
Somebody pointed out somewhere that the last 40 episodes or so have essentially been like a subplot that's led on from
actually I would say 60. Probably from about episode 20.
So, as to whether I wish we'd saved her. I don't know that, because it's been quite fun, but at the same time, it would have been very, very different had we.
Oh yeah, and I think we have some questions about that later on as well. Ali, anything you wish you'd done different?
I wish I was a dinosaur. I had literally no answer, but I did have a dinosaur.
Well, that's good.
See, listeners, we
There's
cut a
lots of
lot.
props.
Yeah. I don't think I packed any props apart from a unicorn backdrop and a unicorn mug.
I was going to be showing a bit of skin.
Mag, anything you wish you had done different?
There we go.
Every decision I made was like what Banbury would have done.
Yeah.
Every decision I made was the right one.
Especially the end one.
Banbury would have Banbury would never have gotten a boat, it turns out. Definitely wouldn't have gotten 2 boats. But yeah, no, everything, I'm sure we all actively made bad decisions that we knew out of character were bad decisions.
Yeah.
But they were what the character would do in that scenario. So.
Or were funny, hence the entire follow story where Winkle fell overboard because it was amusing.
And then he just died.
A horrible
and then
death.
Died. You just killed like one of my favorite characters in like turn 1. I got to do nothing with him.
And then we spend the rest of the thing with resentful Stuart going, I can't believe you killed a child.
Can't believe you killed a child.
You know, fair point.
Ben, there's
Oh.
a question from one of our listeners that I'm drawing your reference to, your whatever.
So, have there been any moments where you were thrown or shocked by a choice another Hawk made? And that's a Kristen question as well.
That has never happened.
That's not the question in the chat that Stu was just mentioning. Though.
Yeah, I was saying,
Look, we've got PowerPoint here.
I've got a PowerPoint presentation.
I know,
I've
but we
got the
can't.
PowerPoint.
We can't tell people to come and listen and ask us questions and then just blank them all session.
I have already asked people to give us
Watch
questions.
me.
Look, Cy,
Yeah.
Lucy, Stuart,
Yeah, Kaylin,
Lucy,
you could
Butterfly,
have asked this
opportunity.
before.
and Kaylin, we're sorry.
Yes. So, have there only been any moments you were thrown shocked by a choice another Hawk made?
I don't think that ever happened, especially not in the last episode.
In the last episode, potentially.
I feel like every time Tristan was on watch, I was surprised. But having known Stu so long, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. Like the Dryad scene again, questionable.
I find that-
like Stu early days on the war, where he decided to. Tristan seemed quite nice for the first 7 episodes, and then when he started abusing the bodies,
Desperate
this is-
times.
It's a weird take.
Although-
this isn't the classic jovial bard we were expecting.
Following
Desperate
on
times
from
called
that,
war crimes.
Most interactions and moments from about episode 1 onwards, I do find myself asking, why the hell would Percy have hired these people? I mean, relatively quickly, you're no longer shocked by it, but you are like, okay.
when
But it's another aspect of the character, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a reason that he wasn't promoted higher in the Knights. It might have been his HR skills. He's like recruited a great team.
Poor
Enigma
interview
trying to
judgment.
steal the sword right at the start of season 2.
Yeah.
like that was a hard kind of like
that was weird.
what the fuck.
Yeah,
Some
that was
enemies
a hard buy.
Yeah,
Asking
I was
Enigma
like-
any question we
Yeah.
require an answer to throughout the entire 3 series. That's pretty bad.
Ali's been very committed to sticking
Yeah.
to that initial kind of character idea.
Which is awesome, to be fair.
I'm not royal.
Unbelievable. But also, from following on from the wall, when Banbury and Enigma decided not to take part in the end of movie set piece that Ben had clearly put budget aside for, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna go and get some apples." And Ben's like, "This is
We're gonna
literally
take the
what is
squirrel."
it's gonna make you as heroes, and it's gonna bind you together in the story going forward." It's like, "Nah, we're going into the woods." I was like, "Oh, what?" Split the
that was-
party.
That was really interesting, I thought. That was an
It did
interesting
turn out to be
decision.
good.
So I've got a question here. Me, apart from the whole Enigma death thing, are there any moments where you're really caught off guard or stumped by the Hawks? The end of season 3, definitely. I would say I'm often have some vague idea about the way things might go, and it is not the way they go. But there are certain like GMing principles that I try and apply, which mitigate that a little, because I try to have scenarios prepared so I know who's around and what they want, rather than planning for any specific events. Because if I try and plan for events, they don't happen, or it's just mayhem. So yeah, I think there's certainly been a few moments where I've been a little bit caught off guard.
But that said, you always handle yourself so well. I can only think of one time where you've effectively gone, okay, wait, okay, yeah, here's how that's going to work. And you're like, oh, shit, I've doomed myself somehow.
Yeah, actually, that was a good one. When you got to Arishar, I wasn't expecting you to put on a charity gig. I was like,
yes.
I was like,
forgot about that.
That was just not what I thought was going to happen. But there it was. And suddenly you did. So we have a couple of counterfactual questions. Enigma dying seemed to drastically change the direction of the show. Was this planned? If not, where was it going to go instead?
I'm also interested in that question.
I'm also interested in that.
Yeah,
I'm not. Next.
So firstly, it was absolutely not planned. That was a roll of the dice that had unexpectedly lethal consequences for everyone involved, for Enigma, for the Needle Branch agent who had been going under the name of Hannah Gulch, and for Tristan's heart.
Hannah Gulch. Oh.
All three of those suffered lethal damage in roughly the same moment. And yeah, so after that, that was like completely changed things. If it hadn't happened, one of the principles of Dungeon World is you play to find out what happens. So we haven't played it. We don't find that out because we never went there. But it would have been very different. All the Ice Watcher plot may well have been the precursor to something completely different. It could, because everything after that was, even when it was tied into that campaign, it was also about the journey to Malahim. I could also just have put Malahim like 3 miles away. I didn't have to put it like 2,000 miles away.
Just up the road, mate.
That was just pure ornery whimsy on my part.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. And there was a question from Tom saying, "This distinctly remembers a point some while back where players said that what they wanted to do, and you replied, yeah, you could go that way, I guess." In a heartbreaking tone of voice that suggested the Hawks had just turned 180 degrees and walked directly away from a painstakingly crafted bit of plot, avoiding it forever. Do they do this the whole time, or is that a rare thing? Please feel free to vent. This is now your safe space. I appreciate it. I will say they actually generally, because you've probably seen it either in the film or as an animated GIF, Gromit the dog on top of the model train throwing down train track just in front of the wheels. That's very much my GMing style. So in those terms, mostly I'm only a little bit ahead, so I don't lose that much. I think what happened here was that I was expecting them to take a shortcut through Batmazgarod and to have a whole lot more dwarf stuff. And instead, they were like, let's take a boat, which did work out well. Boats have traditionally worked very well for the Hawks, and it did in that case.
We're great with them.
Yeah. The sea is their natural travelling venue.
Hawks aren't a water bird. We need to stay out of the water.
Orcs are literally a water bird.
Boats have worked well.
Also,
I don't think
just to butt in, finding the name the Hawks, as well as that alias the Sausages, that's some big moments.
Might even be the episode I was referring to earlier. That
I think it is.
It was so good.
You adopt names, you're like Brown Hawk, Blue Hawk,
Cerise Hawk.
That was right.
And I was Red Hawk.
So a couple more world questions. You have one: how much of the recent world building did you have in mind when starting last season? Thinking back to the wall and realizing it's a different campaign at this point. That's from John Raphaelson. And yeah, I'd had a little bit of world building. I figured they'd be crossing the plains, and I knew about the 5 peoples of the plains. I actually had help. I talked a bit with Anna Landin, who is a friend who's done some artwork I've worked with in the past, and she's super into world building stuff, and she helped me out with the rolling people. Our friend Tom helped me out with the running people. I wanted to steal the riding people for myself, and in the end, the digging people we didn't see at all, and there was a reason for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
they were hiding. Were they some kind of mole?
No, they were the Dwarven Kingdom of Old Kosgorod, which was right under the plains, but has actually fallen, and that's why you didn't see them.
Like Bat-Masgorod. I remember places.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I did quite a lot of kind of cultural stuff around them. So I knew loads about the running people that just never came up. And I knew a fair amount about the sliding people, but less because I figured we wouldn't be on the southern ice so much unless things went really badly. So yeah, that kind of. But the rolling people really grew. One thing I will say, when the Hawks arrived and they were given the die stone, I had literally no idea how that was going to work or what was likely to happen. I was like, I'm going to throw this at them and see what happens next. So
yeah, and Banbury just said, "We've got the die stone. Here it is." We were like, "What?"
That was great. That was fantastic.
Banbury
handled that perfectly. And
for you, not for us.
Banbury has a truth tattoo. He always tells the truth.
Yeah, and he did. That was really good. So yeah, that worked really well. There's a question about my favorite bit of world lore that was missed or no longer plot relevant. And I don't think we've, because I don't know where we're going next, I don't know what's no longer relevant. The running people stuff was cool. They leave scent trails. They're more or less a bit like they leave scent trails across the plains as a way of marking paths, and their routes are all based on that. They use scent more than sight, which meant dealing. No, just using not pee.
They smell things in their paws.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of hard to say what's plot relevant
stuff.
What's plot relevant, and what isn't. Particularly, I'm quite excited for season 4 because I've got vague plans about where to go.
It is going to be good.
That could be quite cool, but it also means that there probably ain't that much that might not be plot relevant.
Yeah, I think a lot of things could be. So the one thing I did miss, because if you remember, as they came off the plane, I asked Stu rolling. I asked Stu riding, rolling, or running, and he said rolling, and everything that happened from then came from him saying that. Like the whole rolling people plot, if he had said something different, it would have been a different culture you dealt with and a completely different story.
Cool.
You're welcome. I craft worlds with my words.
Yeah, by saying one of 3
you just
words.
really liked that song. Rolling, 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 rolling.
Yeah, it's nostalgic for the happy days of 2000.
Yep.
So, questions about Malahim. Hawks, how much meta knowledge did you have going into Malahim, and how much did Ben surprise you with stuff like Tristan's dad? And that's from Megatron Stew.
I'll field this one. Shouldn't have been surprised that my dad was going to be an old crazy hobo somewhere. That should have been, there was a general vibe of dicking on Tristan. Yeah, Enigma lost her dad, the king, and Percy lost another brother. He was trying to, work with other armies and manipulate politics. And Banbury has a big reveal that, his mum's the witch, which was actually amazing when she was like, hello, Banbury. That came as a massive surprise. But my dad's a hobo, so not that surprising, really.
Yeah, they were all kind of high status, important characters in their own way.
Yeah. Even the hobo who just drank his pee.
He's an important hobo.
Yeah,
basically,
I'm going to be interested. So listening to the bit where after that episode, you all teleported out. Now, I assume you just left him there. This clubfoot, slightly mad.
Didn't think of that.
Tristan's
just left his dad there.
Yeah, it didn't even dawn on me there. I'm like, all right, pups, I'm off.
That makes it sound bad, but trust me when I say it's a lot worse than that makes it sound. So, I'm sure those consequences will be explored.
We left a lot of friends behind.
he also asked how much I had prepared ahead and how much is me winging it. I actually did have a map of the Undercity, and I knew quite a lot about Malahim for reasons that you'll get to hear in the next few weeks, because we played when I first decided that was where they were going, or when we realized that was where they were going. I played a game of Microscope with Lucy and Tom, two other friends of the team, and we did a whole bunch of world building about how Malahim fell. So that's going to go out as episodes after this post-mortem has gone live. So yeah, a lot of that was prepared. I guess there was something I was thinking about with ogres, but I've completely forgotten it. The other thing was I definitely wanted to play the Ogre King because I really just wanted to play one of those Marvin stroke Eeyore characters because they're very pleasing to me. So a few questions about the show. Who came up with the name? Asks Rob Finch.
I think we should all blame Mag for this.
Mag came up with the extremely graphic artwork that inspired the name.
Dicks, but Mag drew an incredibly detailed dick. So
all the time, not just once.
Extremely veiny. Many
I've got to
times.
say, I've seen one quite a lot, so get inspiration.
Yeah, it would be nice if Stu wore clothes for more of the recording sessions.
It's not Stu's penis that I see every day. I just want to clarify that.
Wait, you're seeing another one? Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of painful truths coming to light here.
I never said send nudes. I definitely didn't say send nudes every single day.
You said send dick pics, Plix, and I was like, oh, I like the rhyming of that. That's really good. DXPXP. I don't know. I'm going to write that out now.
Good news. I think that might have been. I can't remember who it was. It came out of that conversation. It could easily have been any of us.
We did spend a lot of time.
I'm pretty sure it was Ben.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that somebody talks about crudely drawn penises, and then somebody immediately made the link. Crudely drawn
cocks used to be
I think it was
a regular thing on the site I used to be on.
Sure it was like 5 years ago, though. We forget a lot rapidly. We're very good forgetting.
I don't even know what the show is.
I feel like I remember it pretty well. You were describing a load of stuff to us. We'd never used Roll20 before.
Yeah, that's right.
That you could draw on it. I started drawing dicks. Everyone else started drawing dicks. You weren't paying attention to what we were doing on the map. You then laughed a bit and then got angry and deleted it. And then started explaining everything again. All this lore that you'd prepared.
Yeah.
And when you noticed, like, you were literally, as we were drawing them, wiping them out. There was a lot of laughter. And I'm pretty sure, Ben, you came up with the name.
He definitely did. It was Ben.
I will take credit for that then.
But how did we not have a name for the series when we started? That's mental.
We called it.
Well, we just knew we were going to do something awful. Yeah. Oh yeah, we did call it that, and that was like a completely different idea. We had an idea, like we're like, our friends are really funny. We should find a way to like get that out into the world. And then we tried some things, but really it was when I wanted to do an actual play show, that having listened to a bunch of them, that we kind of realized that was a good way of doing it.
Yeah, because at the start, me and Stu were pretty down on the idea.
Yeah, you thought it was ridiculous.
At all would be interested.
It took episode 4 before I even listened back, and I was like, no one's going to want to watch this. This is terrible. It's not even funny. And then I started listening, and I'm easily our biggest fan. Easily.
I mean, look at all those chumps. They're even listening to us talking about stuff.
Yeah, this is getting to the point where they're now thinking it's a bit boring still being online listening to us, and they're walking away from their PCs. And
fair play. And he's right too.
Yeah.
So how much game mechanics do you edit out of the podcast? Another question from Rob. The answer is a little bit. The main thing I edit out is people not knowing how to roll a dice in Roll20. and going slash roll 2D. Oh, that's just said roll 2D. You put a space.
In fairness, we record like there'll be like a month and a half gap, and then we come back to this system and go, do I remember this? I think I press a button. No, I don't press a button. I have to type it out. I won't remember. I have to type it out quietly because I've got a mechanical keyboard. No, don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, Roll20 is good. But,
yeah.
You could just trust us. You could have just let us roll some dice.
I do very much trust you not to roll dice. Have you, Stuart's on the show? Have you even met him? So we don't edit out
Stuart
that much.
has a lot of noisy other stuff that he's constantly playing with in the background. So
that's not true.
Wouldn't really have made that. Literally, just in the first hour of this, I thought about turning off just due to your smoking behind a pillow sound.
What? You can't hear that.
You can hear it.
You can't hear if I lean over here like this.
No, line of sight and line of sound are not the same thing.
But you didn't hear that.
No, we did. Please don't be Stuart.
That's my thing. That's what the fans expect. They've got T-shirts saying "Make noise now." Please.
The other thing we do is we do the session end move after we've finished recording. Because it's just not that interesting to listen to in our view. We left it in one of the early episodes, and since then it's just been cut out. But we just do that at the end of a session usually, and normally we do it because someone's going to sleep and everyone else is still a bit awake. So we'll just run around and do that. No, we're like, hey, don't forget to take any new moves before our next session, and Stuart would forget, and then suddenly realise he was level at 10 with only 3 moves.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can we start marking XP when no one gets a pun? No, because we don't realise they're puns.
It's deep layered humour.
Yes, yeah, you
can't a level beyond.
Yeah, in a way, getting the pun is the experience.
Yeah,
the real experience was the puns we got along the way.
XP. You could be a level 10 listener.
Yeah.
That'd be a great idea. But you can only mark the XP when you haven't got the pun, which means you have to know it was there, but know you didn't get it somehow. I'm not sure. It's a challenge. Okay, one from Tom here. I love the bloopers, but I know that can't be all. What's the worst thing Lucy or Ben have actually had to edit out? I like the way that this is trying to sneak it onto the show. Great. Well done. Yeah.
We could talk in code and see if we agree. I can think of some things. It's mostly accents that get cut out because they get just too racist.
It was something that Mag said that I'd made reference to, and we both kind of awkwardly chuckled, knowing that it was going to be cut out.
I don't recall that, but I do recall us very deliberately saying some rude stuff about Lucy before an episode once, thinking that she was going to edit it, and then Ben edited that, and then it felt really rough. Yeah. So Lucy, I'm going to say all those things to your face next time. Love you.
And legit. Yes, there were a certain amount. I think we edited the references to a certain Czechoslovakian website. But
oh right, yeah, there was a thing about the lemon party, or we're not specifically meant to talk about.
Oh yeah, did it begin with a G?
Yeah, but to be honest, once I left in the pit from Labyrinth, but it's all cocks. I feel like
that's my highlight right there.
That line has been crossed. No,
the problem we didn't twig early on is that if we make enough jokes about it later on in the episode, you can't cut out the film, and therefore we just cockity cock.
They do it on things like Mock the Week. Is that if you make a joke, as long as you keep doing callbacks to it, they have to keep you joking.
Nice, more like Cock the Week.
Yeah.
And so we had a question from Clemens B. Any chance of a recap summary of the storyline? Yeah, we'll just do that now.
Who the hell is Clemens B?
One of our listeners.
I know, all the other names.
You don't know all the listeners.
They need to get more vocal. Get on our Twitter. Get on the hashtags.
Get on the
just
hashtags.
answer that in the comments a second. So Lucy and Ben both edit the podcast. Earlier on, one of our other friends, Claire, was helping to edit it as well. But now it's pretty much between Ben and Lucy. And Lucy is also my wife.
Yeah.
Nice. Also,
but her most important role is helping to edit the show.
How many people here have actually just randomly found Crudely Drawn Swords, or how many people in the chats don't we know, basically?
Well, let's not worry about that now. I'll just answer this question because
just giving them something to do.
Like, I know you love to interact with the chat, but let's not forget this is also going to be an episode of the podcast.
This is like on stage when you were like
there.
This is like when you were like, "Don't talk to the audience between songs; just stand silently." And I'm like, "We've got to create rock and roll personas."
Anyway, the reason that we haven't done a recap summary, we want to, but it's really work intensive to do it because it tends to involve cutting together audio from a lot of different places to make it work, and the consequence is that we haven't done one. But if we ever find the time, yeah, we'd like to. It'd be great.
Ben,
we went on a long journey. There was some ice and snow, and then there was a dragon.
Well, look, we can do it two ways. We can either say, just read anything written by Tolkien and you've got the gist. Or two, we could get, like, you could, in the voice of Rob Sausage, do an over kind of narration, just bringing it kind of everyone up to speed on the first 3 seasons in short little snippy bits. I think Rob Sausage needs to come back, and that gives the ideal, like, he can just get all of the meat that was seasons 1 to 3 and put it into a really mushed up sausagey treat for people.
Yes,
that would be good.
And actually, we can put in the absurdist Rob Sausage fanfic we wrote at that LARP event.
When Bambi said that he was going to burn everyone apart from 1 or 2 people, did Rob Sausage make that list?
Yeah,
we don't
know too much of a spoiler.
Definitely not. Definitely didn't say that. But
yeah, we don't know. We'll find out. I mean, I think Rob Sausage could tell it from his point of view. His 2 interactions with the Hawks of selling them some sausages. I sold them some sausages, and later I sold them some more sausages.
and yet,
that's his whole story.
We think of him as like our best friend. If we met him again, we'd be like, Rob. We'd be like, do I know you?
I must have sold your sausages before.
Yeah, and it is pretty funny that our only merch is Rob Sausage, who
and
we've
the
seen
Wiggly
twice,
Worm.
and the Wiggly Worm,
who wasn't in it at all,
and only discussed as a concept.
Yeah,
hilarious. And also, I like our merchandise, and I do wear our own merchandise because that's how I roll.
I think Rob Sausage never forgets a mouth that he's seen eating one of his sausages. It's like lip reading, but he's kind of like sausage eater reading. You had the double.
I was wearing a Rob Sausage t-shirt. I was wearing a Rob Sausage t-shirt, and somebody went, "Oh, where'd you get that from? My husband loves sausages."
Perfect time to hype our merchandise.
Wait, there's been no new sausage t-shirt sales though, so you didn't upsell it.
Well, clearly she didn't actually get round to it.
Sad times. You can buy that on redbubble/CrudelyDrawnSwords. So there are some questions about us as a team. Again, another question from Clemens. What are your professional and gaming backgrounds?
CV time.
Yeah, our gaming background.
Look who's trying to get in on the action.
Which is going to be great for everyone listening on the podcast. But good to hear Lucy.
Over here,
you guys were planning on putting this out unedited. You're going to have to definitely stop us talking over each other or edit it.
Yep. Well, people are going to learn to love it, as we have. So, firstly, our common gaming background is that we are all a bunch of LARPers, and we knew each other. Some of us met at university, but we've all played in LARP groups together for many, many years. And that's most of how we know each other. Professionally, I program computers and websites for a day job. And it's as exciting as it sounds. Stuart?
I am a countryside ranger working at Harmonsworth Moor, a wildflower meadow just sort of southeast of, or maybe maybe northwest, one of the two, of Heathrow Airport.
We don't know the difference between east and west on this podcast.
Yeah, I struggle
South and North
now.
as well.
Anyway, I work outside. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty good, and it means early mornings, which means that Stu doesn't like us running late.
Yeah, which is great. Oh, I also recently bought an Oculus Quest for the gaming. So if you've got an Oculus Quest, hit me up. I'm Casada Blue, spelt as it sounds.
An Oculus Quest. Is that like an Oculus Rift?
It's the untethered version, so it's the new one, new VR headset. It's so good.
That sounds pretty wild. Okay. I can't believe you can run that and you can't run a webcam.
It runs itself. That's the thing. It's an all-inclusive VR headset system.
Oh,
Oculus Quest.
That's clever.
It's really good. We probably shouldn't waste all our listeners' time talking about it, but it's so good. Beat Saber is amazing.
Ali.
I'm a photography lecturer and sometimes a comedian and occasionally a writer.
Yeah.
None of the latter make me money.
Anyone watching this will have observed that Ali wears many hats.
Oh, God damn it. Hang on. I did have another one. I do wear many hats.
Ali also LARPs in quite a lot of systems, so sometimes she'll be random and post-apocalyptic or a space journalist or something. You never know what you're going to get.
I was a cowboy the other day.
Exactly.
Nice.
Gwyn.
I'm a public rights of way officer. It's a pretty niche job. So that means that I work on like public footpaths. When you go out for a nice walk in the countryside, if you're in specifically England or Wales, if you're anywhere else in the world, this will mean nothing. Then you might follow a footpath, and I do a lot of the.
And I'll be right behind you.
I'll be with you 100% of the way. You can do this.
When there's only one set of footprints, that's where Gwyn was carrying you.
That's what I was just thinking about.
When Stuart started, like before he was a countryside ranger and he wanted to get into the countryside work, he worked as a contractor for a little bit and he picked up a contract that I let on the Wales coast path that involved
that was horrible.
sticking cement in a rucksack and then sending him out on a 30-mile hike.
You're forgetting the cement, the stones that you gave me to attach to walls, the drill that I needed to carry, the backup drill I needed to carry, the water to mix with the cement whilst walking through the semi-flooded coastal path in my wellies with my socks and my boots getting sucked off. That was... I mean, the money was good, but the work was brute. The views were great, but I was carrying a bag of rocks around. I literally did the paladin training.
Literally a rucksack of cement.
It was just brutal.
Like being in that car park and like picking this like massive like 80-litre rucksack full of cement up, and, like sticking it on Stuart's back as he kind of rocks backwards. Like, all right, see you at the end of the day, buddy. Off you go.
Wow, let me tell you, that is
happy days.
Mag.
I am a lighthouse keeper. My memoirs were filmed and turned into a children's TV show called Round the Twist.
Flashbacks.
It's all true.
I assume that question from Sean is referring to you guys. You will be in the English pricks.
I was replying now in
Welshman. I get to dodge that.
Am I honorary Welsh? I might be honorary Welsh by now.
I don't know.
I've got Welsh guinea pigs. That gives me Welsh, like, citizenship, surely.
Probably longer than I've been here, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
mean, we can't answer that question about why you can't find sausage and mash. Like,
yes, we can. Done it.
Google is your friend. Or, okay. Sausage and potato.
Sausage and mash. That's sausage and potatoes. Pff, they've got, like... tasty stuff.
Yeah, they've got biscuits.
Always
biscuits and gravy, which is very different from what we'd have here if we had biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, like every part, the biscuits and the
gravy
on your custard cream.
Grits. Ugh, grits sound disgusting. You think, well, that sounds horrible, so it's probably delicious. Nah, it's horrible.
Is it not?
Does it grits? Is that sausage?
No, it's the stuff they have by the road in those big yellow boxes.
Oh, like yeah.
Stu was carrying it in his back for ages, and he was like, "Do you want some grits?" And I'm like, "I'll try some grits."
Yeah, I actually once had a phone call from the school to
shrimps and grits. What a grits!
My roadside bin.
No one knows. No one knows. Americans claim to, but they don't. So, who would play you in a film version of your life? This is a Megatron Stew question. Let's start with Mag.
I would play me because that way.
No, you
I
can't
would
play
get
yourself.
paid.
That was a specification of the question.
What? But I want the money.
You don't get the money. You get the writer's credit. I mean,
I assume it means who would play Banbury rather than who would play Mag.
no, who will play you?
Oh,
We have Banbury later.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Probably Scarlett Johansson. She plays every role.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually.
Her.
What about you, Gwen?
Play a film version of my life.
Yeah.
Ray Mears.
Raymond.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Cheers, Gwyn. What I have.
Good
I'm going to go. What's the most?
Stu's going to choose?
What's the most famous countryside rights of way officer on TV at the moment that I can?
I figured that if I choose Ray Mears, then that leaves you with Bear Grylls, who you hate.
No.
What about you, Ali?
Well, I'm already on TV. Like the current Doctor is clearly playing me, so it's going to be her, isn't it? Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yep, I like that. I mean, I should have been the Doctor, but it was nice they based it on me anyway.
Next time.
It'll
be basically the same character, but maybe. We'll see.
It's variations on it.
Yeah, variations on the theme. So, Stu, are you going for Bear Grylls?
No, I just had a good idea. Oh, basically, I've got friends that say I look like John Travolta. So I guess
young
old
John Travolta.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll just take old John
So you
Travolta.
can be played by old John Travolta.
I've also been told I look a little bit like Brad Pitt, but I thought I wouldn't be allowed to use that one. So
you're
I'm
welcome
going to use
it.
an old John Travolta will be playing me.
That's pretty good.
He's not going to, honestly, I don't think he'd even take the role because it's not a great film, to be honest. It's about as boring as everyone else's life.
Yeah, but just imagine the bit where he
and-
narrates the cat dream.
Yeah, that's good mates with Stu. As I'm good mates with Stu, I'll actually get played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's pretty good going. Oh, I was thinking of someone. I was having my hair cut. I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, I need someone with like pasty skin and jowly, like whoever played the bishop in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Maybe him. That's probably it. Who made the worst out-of-game decision? Rob
Stuart.
Finch asks. Stu.
Why?
Next question.
What out-of-game decision?
Your decision about every item of food you eat.
That grog. The grog that looked like a chemical garden.
That was
and you
good.
drank it. You had to filter it
good.
through your teeth.
Yeah.
That was a different
Wait,
one.
is
There was
this-
two different
Is
ones.
this just in general? This isn't to do with
Yeah,
the
this is
podcast?
just in general now, I think.
1,000,000% Stu.
Yeah.
Like
That was.
like
I made it. You drank it. If I jumped off a bridge, you guys would have to follow me.
you
I mean,
drank
we
it as
probably
well.
would because we're idiots.
For
Yeah.
context, we all used to be a LARP group, and Stuart was our captain in our ship, and he made grog by pouring lots of different liquids, like the last bit of rum, last bit of vodka into a bottle. But then he kept that bottle, and he kept on a windowsill, and he kept putting stuff in it, sausages, bits of grass. It had thick mold on it, but because we were drunk and it was late night, and we were in tents where
We shook
the
it
world
up.
lit,
It was fine.
we didn't know that what he was passing us was probably gonna kill us.
We did
We
know.
all drank it.
That's the worst part.
Thank you, Alison.
That one we knew because he'd been bragging about how it had been maturing.
Fine,
He
but
made
look,
it in a
it's
milk
chemical
bottle.
garden, but I did not know. I would not have
That
drank
looked nasty.
Oh,
There was that one I found in a barn, and the next day that guy
some
didn't
drink
wake
I
up
found in
till
a
3 o'clock.
barn.
That's been the only time at an event where I've drunk something, and then as I've been going to bed, thought, I really hope I wake up tomorrow morning.
One of the guys who drank a lot of it didn't wake up till 3 in the afternoon, and we did get worried.
Yeah.
God,
That
I
when
remember
you
being-
had that the Uber grog that looked like a chemical garden. I remember turning up late to that event, and you drunk it, was smashed, and I remember you sitting in front of me playing a guitar, and then just while sitting down, managed to fall backwards as like some girl walked past you, And you're like strumming this guitar going, I'm lying on my back. I'm looking at this girl's crack. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Stuart.
I love being drunk at laugh events. It was so
You're
much
the
fun.
worst. You're the actual worst human being.
So good.
And in the chat, Lucy's just brought up the time with airport security.
Yeah, the knife.
Yeah, that one.
Stu, one of the things that
was
I've learned
brutal.
over years of being friends with Stu is how much random shit you can just get away with.
It's
Pushing your luck. It's
The
incredible.
airport security thing. We were going away to Cyprus for a friend's wedding, and so we were naturally all going through sort of security at the airport. And Stuart, I think, just in case he had.
It
Been
was
watching a lot of sort of outdoor shows at the time, and thought that just in case the plane were to crash and we were to find ourselves on a desert island, he'd pack his survival tin in his hand luggage, which included like a garrote wire and like a locking knife and like this fire starting kit, which they recovered from the bag and then like shut down that whole sort of security lane whilst they got people to check out the rest of his back.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's because the knife locked. That's the problem.
Like the guy from customs
I think
literally
knives
came
are-
out because he saw us like laughing. Like I assume
That was horrible.
with like one of those like latex glove things and snapped it. Funny.
The thing is, I wasn't scared about where the finger was going to go. I was just scared of the idea that, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble. I was like, he can't be serious. What does he think I've got on me? And then it was a joke. And I was like,
You got the
Wasn't
knife
on you,
confiscated,
was it?
didn't you?
yeah, I got the knife. I got my garroting wire. I got my fire starter. I got my mini bomb making kit taken off me. The little acid vial I had. It was absolutely unfair. You hear me? Cyprus Airway
Yeah.
Security.
All right, so our next questions. We have a quick fire round.
Bang, bang.
This will
What
take a
actually
while.
is in a Rob sausage? Asked Rob Finch. Just
Robins.
finches. Robins. Just small birds, apparently.
Yeah.
Songbirds.
It's a secret recipe. We're never going to know. That's why they sell so well.
Who's your favourite Muppet? Mag.
Rizzo.
Yeah, me too.
Ali?
The one with the nose.
Yeah,
Gonzo.
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 Yeah, that's weird that we have like a Rizzo Gonzo axis
Yeah.
here. I'm also
And it
favourite
shows-
Rizzo, and I feel that some of you are more Rizzo than Gonzo fans, and it shows. Yeah,
What
and that's
about
like
this great trapeze act though? And here's my chicken mate.
that's but it's also like that's very much the core relationship of A Muppet Christmas Carol, which is the best Christmas film.
Yeah, like realistically,
Yep.
that's the most famous thing that we'll have watched the most, and therefore they're the
Yeah.
kind of iconic characters.
Tom asks, who made the Mordred device?
Nobody knows, and it's a secret.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery. No one.
That's a very
And I
niche
don't
Should we
think there's
destroy
any
the
way-
sword?
There's no way
No,
of
this is
knowing.
definitely a quick fire question because there's not much to discuss on this.
We should have thrown it down the pit, is what I reckon, and see it spit out the other side.
Just swallowed it.
Just swallow. So found a sword swallower, fed it to them. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Take
Banbury
one.
even asked one last
Take
time,
one. I could do that.
so what are we going to do with the sword? Are we going to destroy it, or am I going to turn it into a dragon? And we're like, we're not going to destroy it. And he's like, I'll just put some glyphs down then. I'm like, I knew it, you little bugger.
So, some questions about the Hawks. So, who would play your character in a film version of Crudely Drawn Swords? Stuart.
The Rock. Or basically Antonio Banderas, or like Ben Stiller in the movie about me and the Dandy. Or Owen Wilson would be pretty good, actually. He's got that look with a broken nose as well.
Ali.
The Queen.
Queen. Wow.
I don't really
That'd be
know
a
many
heck-
actors, but
That'd be
I'd
Yeah,
imagine the
Ali,
whole time
you don't
she's
know
saying
many
that she's
actors.
not the Queen.
That's
It'd be
true.
brilliant. You'd have a kind of meta level of humour to it.
Saying that
And I
she's
bet she's really
royalty.
good at puns.
Are we only allowed to choose actors we know personally?
Actors that are real.
Yeah.
I know
Wait,
the
you
Queen
think
personally.
that Ali knows the Queen and I know the Rock?
Yes, apparently we are. So, yes, so Gwen.
somebody with a good moustache. I don't know. Nicolas Cage, actually. He hasn't got a moustache, but
he could grow one for this.
Hulk Hogan, he's blonde. Has
Hulk
moustache.
Hogan,
Yes.
yeah. And Hulk Hogan, Percy always has kind of a weirdly Hulk Hogan vibe. Mag.
The dog from Beethoven, because I don't think he's doing anything these days. And he's lovable and innocent and pure, and that's what Banbury is.
I thought that was a girl dog. I never watched it, but like there was lots of baby ones, so I assumed it was a girl dog.
I think that's like Dalmatians. Or the 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, I thought Banbury would have been played by the Sorting Hat after it was kind of cut apart and turned into like a figurine that was kind of stomping around.
Yeah, some little shit bag, like some.
Yeah,
who's the guy that played Malfoy?
Literally a sack of potatoes filled with shit.
Yeah,
Gollum.
Brutal.
And we'll have someone like you say with that Gollum guy can just animate a potato sack.
Andy Serkis as playing a potato sack. That's amazing.
There is an artist that makes sculptures that are out of sacks. I'm going to have to find the name. I'll send you a link.
Okay, so who's made the worst in-game decision? Rob Finch asks.
We've never made a bad decision.
Worst in-game decision. Every time Enigma didn't fucking help us, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, when Enigma went to feed lizards under the city, or like watch them.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
That was a very bad decision.
Well, yeah, I would say the Enigma and Banbury missing the big fight again, but that turned out to be good. But
that was okay.
We didn't choose to do that.
Yeah, they worked that out pretty. That worked out pretty well.
I think
to
when
be
we
fair,
had the big fight, when we needed somebody that was really good at stabbing people, and Enigma was investigating the underside of a wagon.
I saw a lizard
the entire time.
A piece of meat.
That was probably.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool.
Because you guys had it edited, but we had effectively a 4-hour segment where me, Mag, and Gwyn and Ben had the most fun. I'm like, me, Mag, and that other guy who I was the best of men for had a great session where we were like doing loads of role playing. It was really funny, and Ali just sat there for about 3 hours and then went.
I had a lovely sleep.
Do I see anything? I think you did. Oh, you were playing Pokemon Go at the time, I think.
That's right.
I still am.
And in fairness, everyone wailing on Enigma in this point, but I'd just like to make it very clear that also the point where Enigma somehow set the boat you're in on fire or herself on fire in a boat, that was a very bad decision too.
I don't know if that was a decision.
Everything that led up to the Shark Narnia situation was like Shark Narnia. That episode was an incredible curve from like introducing characters, a bit of development to absolute mayhem in just the right amount of time. It was an outrage. I enjoyed it a lot.
And while Percy's not here, Percy's biggest in-game decision was the claim that he could do bringing people back from the dead really easily.
And I mean, we've not explored it fully, but that clearly did not go well. Like,
it did not. But
clearly
the running gag of Percy being annoyed that we would even suggest his resurrection didn't go correctly is so good.
It is very good. So a question, how do I keep the action going when all the rolls are going bad? That's actually easier than when the rolls are going good. Because when the rolls are going bad, I just get to wail on the Hawks. And to be absolutely clear, and hopefully that was clear from like fairly early on, I am determined to kill these bastards. Like I am not going to hold back. If I have any opportunity to wipe out the Hawks, I'll absolutely wipe out the Hawks. So when the rolls are going bad, it's a good time. I'm happy and everything's fine.
Although you did let me kill that.
I think you love us.
Yeah,
the time do think that.
And Ben sitting
when I shot
role playing.
Okay, next.
There was that point where then this was also a bad decision where Tristan got the dogs to drop him on got the monkey to drop him on an ice elemental, and I realized later that I think he might have died, but because I wasn't keeping close enough tabs, he narrowly survived.
Yes.
That was quite a lucky time.
A little bit of ancestor cheating, the wise Oriental ancestor.
It's one of the things that we established, and I don't know how clearly it came across, is that in our particular game world, you can only ever be brought back from the dead once. After that, you die, you're dead.
We made that quite clear. And also, we have established canonically that Percy has previously been resurrected.
Yeah.
So he's had his shot.
So it's only really Tristan that's got a bit of leeway there.
Yeah.
Actually, he'd have been all right.
I've been to the gate.
Percy's very good at bringing people back from the dead. So,
Rob Finch also asks, "How the heck does a tardigrade live in the desert?" I just brought this up because I wanted to make it clear this is a stupid question. Tardigrades can live in space.
Yeah,
the
that's
desert
true.
is fine.
They are
And
extremely
also, the consumer was sort of tardigrade-esque, but by that point it was more a kind of amorphous coagulation of the memories and experience of its victims.
About quality of lifestyle, I would say opulently.
Opulent, probably very comfortable. Catches some rays, maybe gets a tan.
I was going to say, like, uncomfortably.
So we've got 3 questions about that turn. So when did you know, or who knew about Banbury's turn at the end? From Chris Toohey. When was the moment Mag and I knew which way things were going to go? And has Banbury abandoned Jabruce? And if not, how's a massive dragon carrying the sock? Asks Laura. So the last of those is easily answered because Banbury explicitly handed Jabruce to Enigma before everything kicked off.
And Ali definitely remembers that bit because it was a really
I listened
intense
again
bit of
today.
roleplay.
Yeah.
I might have to put it through the wash though.
So Enigma has Jabruce.
Sock it
As
to
for who knew about the turn, Mag and I had talked about it. I think it was new to everyone else.
Yep.
So they knew as it came to the end of that curse and it became clear what Banbury was doing. So what you hear is them discovering that moment.
And us going.
It was,
the whole time.
Good.
Like that cat in that meme.
The one being yelled at by 2 women. I don't get the...
No, I was thinking of a different one. Or that bit in Planet Earth 2 when there's a capybara. The shocked capybara. That was our faces. I'll post it later.
There's been quite a lot of joking about how Banbury might do that.
How good it would be if he did.
And the fact that, in fact, Stuart was still joking about that about 10 minutes before we actually did it. That probably serves as testimony to how surprising it was for everyone.
Yeah, and it was such an amazing piece of work from Mag. It was perfectly balanced, perfectly played, and
very good.
It was such a great end to the season, and I'm so happy that it came out that way. So I really, really enjoyed it, but I also really enjoyed the fact that much like when we introduced Banbury's mum, that was an idea that Mag came out with very early on, that if we got to meet the Witch of the Wood March, that we'd like to be able to do it that kind of way, and then it landed in just the way we hoped. That's really good. It came out super well. So cool moment. And finally, as far as I know, the future. My friends, I've seen the future, and it is murder. Will there be a series 4? Asks Rob Finch. Yes, absolutely. There will 100% be a series 4.
So I thought we were going to tease them, maybe there'll be a series 4.
Oh no.
No, we're going to allow it. We're going to allow it. So yes, there will. Will we get more songs in the next series? I'm sorry to say this, but Tristan has survived. So as things stand, there is every chance there will be more songs.
Yes, come on, the Tristan.
2 years to prep that song, pretty much. like in real time. And I feel like a month before we were recording it, he was still like, "Oh, I've not done it." So
yeah, that's fair. And I'm disappointed because I didn't make the verse and the chorus distinct enough. I should have. I did it wrong.
Long way from Malahan.
I mean, it's a tune and a half. Don't get me wrong. Let me just put out how good the music, both from myself and Ben, has been.
Thank you very much. It's quite funny because Stu will come in with the guitar and vocal, and then he sends it to me, and then I arrange it and I send it back. He's like, "That all sounds wrong. Everything on that is wrong." And
you often do send the wrong thing, though.
then I'll rearrange it. He's like, "Yeah, but you've still got all the notes wrong. It's the notes that are the problem,
You've
not
still
the
got
instruments
that
you're playing
weird
them on."
bum note.
Which is, yeah, and that is our working relationship and has been for as long as we've been making music together, which is probably almost 20 years by now.
Yeah.
How are we all so old?
So, next question. Are there any plans for more mini-series like when we all played different characters?
I hope so.
Well, the next thing we do after this is we have... This will go out, and then the next thing we're going to play is a game called Swords Without Master, and our friend Pete is going to GM. I'm going to be playing. That's going to be set in the same world, but in distant history, during the age when the world was overthrown with monsters and disaster. And Swords Without Master is a really fun game with even more of a narrative focus than Dungeon World. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to be the next thing that happens ahead of season 4. The main reason being that I need a break. I've been editing podcasts with Lucy's help and with Claire's help, but I've been editing podcasts a lot for like 4 years, and my brain needs a break. So we're going to do that. It's going to be less edited, and it probably will be a bit rambly, but it should be good fun. So that's the next thing we're planning to have. And then next question. What does Banbury's turn mean for Magnus playing going forward? Is he the baddie now? Well, Mag, what do you have to say on that?
Yeah, Mag.
I think that the way Tristan put it forward, it seems like that he might be the baddie now, but I think it's all a matter of perspective. Banbury has done something. He's taken a gamble. Has it paid off? Maybe. We don't know. If you grab a big bit of power and try and make a difference, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. In terms of me, I'm taking a bit of a break from the podcast because narratively it makes sense, and also I've got a lot of stuff going on in my work at the moment, and it's pretty mental. So if it gets to the point where it makes sense narratively for Banbury to come back, Banbury may well come back, but equally there might just be a big, powerful dragon breathing fire all over the world, whilst there's also a big god and her army kind of putting ice all over the world. It might be that Banbury is gone for good, realistically. So I've had a lovely time on this podcast. I've enjoyed role-playing with my friends, as I have done with them for 15, 20 years or whatever. So, weirdly, the guy that initially suggested us doing the podcast is Pete, and Pete is coming in, as Ben just said, to run some games, Swords Without Master, and maybe some other stuff. So, yeah, he might be the fourth voice on the podcast going forward. Fifth, obviously, Ben's voice.
Yeah, I don't do voices.
Ben does a whole lot of voices.
So, thank you so much, Mag. You have been an amazing part of the show, and we have super appreciated everything you did right up to that grand finale, which was a masterclass in how to close out a character in a spectacular way that leaves the GM with literally no idea what's going to happen next. So, that's pretty exciting. And that's the end of our questions. So a big thank you to everyone who has come along to listen and who's been part of our adventure so far. We appreciate you all a lot. You inspire us to keep going. And it's been a real pleasure telling this story for you. And for those of you
in the comments, Just
No,
before we sign off,
nothing.
completely
Lucy's
important.
just said that she'll never speak to me again, and I'd just like to say, good. I always hated you.
And
It's
I
true.
just whispered into my mic, but that doesn't matter because I'm recording this on my. Lucy, I've always hated you. I only hung out because of Gwyn. Gwyn is hilarious, and you're just,
The little mute boy.
yeah.
the little newt boy. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mag. Thank you very much, listeners. And for those of you listening to this on the podcast, they will follow the random bloopers that we cut off the end of the last episode, because I felt they'd rather kill the atmosphere in that location. So you get a little extra treat for your bold persistence in putting up with this long.
I hope there's lots of mentions of cocks.
I think season 4 needs to be more vagina heavy. I think.
Yeah.
there's a
It has
Or-
been quite patriarchal.
I think it needs to be more vulva heavy.
Hey, Stu's
Yeah,
learning.
yeah.
Stu's learning fast.
Lucy, you taught to do a thing.
Yeah, we could talk more about the clitoral hood.
Yeah, so anyway, that's probably enough biology from us.
No.
Have a good time, you all, and good night.
Good
Thanks, everyone.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know if we're meant to be logging